Welcome to There's Always Hope radio broadcast with Helen Blocker Adams, a weekly 15-minute commentary that addresses social issues challenging and impacting the fabric of our lives each day. Straight talk on the issues, transforming people and communities. Helen is on a mission from God to energize people to make a difference in their own lives and the lives of others. So now, join Helen for today's There's Always Hope radio broadcast.
Does being innocent matter anymore? People all over the world are struggling with the fact that an innocent man may have been executed last week. The fourth appeal was exhausted, and last Wednesday night he was scheduled to die in Georgia. Some say he was innocent. Does being innocent matter anymore? That's the discussion for today's commentary. Hello, welcome to There's Always Hope radio broadcast. I am your host, Helen Blocker Adams. 22 years ago, a Savannah, Georgia police officer, Mark Allen McPhail, was killed. Anytime a person, no matter who they are or what they do for a living, is killed is a travesty. But when a man or a woman takes the life of a police officer, a person hired to protect and serve citizens, reveals a troubling concern. You simply don't go around killing cops. I am an avid viewer of Law and Order, okay? Although I know much of the program is sensationalized and is not a depiction of the real world, there is a lot of accuracy to their storylines and what cops have to go through to get the bad guys. So a cop was killed in Savannah. Troy Davis, 42 years old, is the man accused, convicted, and was scheduled to die by lethal injection in the state of Georgia on last Wednesday night. At the time of my production of this broadcast, the execution had not taken place. And I must say, there has been a big push from people all over the world to stop the execution. This case has attracted attention all over the globe. So here's what happened. Officer McPhail, a 27-year-old former Army Ranger, was moonlighting on a security detail when he ran to help a homeless man who had cried out because he was being pistol whipped. McPhail was shot three times before he could draw his handgun. Troy Davis has always maintained his innocence of the 1989 murder of the Savannah police officer. Since his original trial, a lot of evidence have come to light pointing to Davis's innocence. 7 of the 9 witnesses who identified him as the shooter have recanted their testimony. They took it back. One of the 2 witnesses who maintain that Davis was the shooter is thought by many to be the real perpetrator. The other person could not have possibly made a positive identification of Davis from over 120 feet where she claimed to have seen him that night. But despite that, the Georgia Pardon and Parole Board said they believe all of the information they've been given to review, all of it indicates Troy Davis is a guilty man. Even though there have been new developments over the years that include reports about police misconduct, the recantation of testimony by a string of eyewitnesses, and reports from other witnesses that another person had confessed to the crime. According to sources, the errors in the Davis case were numerous, and many arose out of eyewitness identification. See, those are 2 key words here. The Savannah police contaminated the memories of 4 witnesses by reenacting the crime with them present so that their individual perceptions were distorted. The police showed some of the witnesses Mr. Davis's photograph even before the lineup. His lineup picture was set apart by a different background. The lineup was also administered by a police officer involved in the investigation, increasing the potential for influencing the witnesses. The Georgia Board of Pardons and Paroles last Tuesday said it had considered all the information in Troy Anthony Davis's case and carefully considered it before denying the condemned inmate clemency. And this is a quote from one of the board members. The board members have not taken their responsibility lightly and certainly understand the emotions attached to a death penalty case. The 5 board members have considered the totality of the information presented in this case and thoroughly deliberated on it, after which the decision was to deny clemency. The board released its decision just after 8 a.m. after spending an entire day hearing from Davis's supporters and then prosecutors and McPhail's relatives. The 5-member board did not disclose the breakdown of its votes to deny clemency. Now, keep in mind, this is the 4th time that Troy Davis has had an execution date. Can an innocent man be put to death? Yes, it's happened before, I'm sure. Innocent people die every day, and it is a travesty. Technology today is much more sophisticated that can help in proving one's innocence. In decades since the Davis trial, science-based research has shown how unreliable and easily manipulated witness identification can be. Studies of the hundreds of felony cases overturned because of DNA evidence have found that misidentifications accounted for between 75% and 85% of the wrongful convictions. Whoa! The Davis case offers numerous examples of this kind of error. An effort to address this grave concern is an organization, a national organization called the Innocence Network. Now, they submitted a letter to the Georgia Board of Pardons and Parole the day before Troy Davis was scheduled to die, urging the board to reconsider its decision denying clemency to the man scheduled to be executed that day, the next day, actually. The letter urged the board to stay Davis's execution so that it can hear from a scientist, an eyewitness identification expert who had hoped to testify before the board on last Monday about the many problems with the identification procedures that were used in Davis's case. Now, the network and the project sent a separate letter to Chatham County District Attorney Larry Chisholm, urging the district attorney to withdraw the execution warrant against Davis. And here is a part of that letter, and I quote, "The identification procedures used to convict Davis would never pass muster today. In their haste to build a case against Davis, the police did just about everything that has now been scientifically proven to be wrong, even allowing the witnesses to talk among themselves about the identity of the shooter. And one of those people who identified Troy is now considered a likely suspect." And this is according to Barry Scheck, co-director of the Innocence Project. The Innocence Project has 66 members is one of 66 members of the Innocence Network that has exonerated more than 300 wrongfully convicted individuals. That's huge. For the sake of the integrity of the criminal justice system, he says, we sincerely hope that the Board of Pardons and Paroles will stay Troy's execution at least long enough to hear from an expert on memory and identification who can explain the many reasons why Davis may have been misidentified, unquote. Let's take a quick commercial break. Thomas & Thomas Design, a forward-thinking design company specializing in creating strong web branding for nonprofit ministries, churches, and small businesses. The team at Thomas & Thomas Design has over 25 years of experience. I highly recommend them. They take care of all of my websites. thomasandthomasdesign.com. Check them out. thomasandthomasdesign.com. Now let's go back to this Innocence Network and tell you a little bit about them. They are an affiliation of organizations dedicated to providing pro bono legal and investigative services to individuals seeking to prove innocence of crimes for which they have been convicted and working to redress the causes of wrongful convictions. The Georgia Innocence Project is a founding member of the Innocence Network. And several years ago, I had an opportunity to have Lisa George, who is the communications director, as a guest on my previous talk radio program. Did you know that nearly 1 million people have signed petitions in Davis's support, pleading for a stay of execution, and were delivered to the Georgia board last week? Whoa. Those asking for clemency included included, President Jimmy Carter, 51 members of Congress, and death penalty supporters such as William Sessions, a former FBI director. Now, this is the fourth time the state of Georgia has set an execution date for Davis. On 3 prior occasions, he was granted stays twice, just hours before his execution was to be carried out. Wow. But you know what? Something occurred to me as I was preparing this commentary. No matter what happened last Wednesday, I wonder, with the worldwide attention this case has gotten, I wonder how many people who have committed a crime against a cop or anyone else feel that he or she will not get justice. Have their thoughts of our judicial system been tainted, or are they discouraged by all of this? You know what? And then the other more pressing question is, are there people who's been watching and listening who are living on the edge, living a life of crime, now reconsidering how they're living their life? Is this a wake-up call for them to get their life back on the right track? I really would hope so. But unfortunately, there's an arrogant streak in many of us that feel, oh, this won't or wouldn't happen to me. Is there light at the end of the tunnel that this case will help to reduce crime? Will it make some people turn around and start doing the right thing? Because check this out, whatever is going to happen, God's will be done. So will the past 22 years be a waste? In terms of impacting someone's life in a positive way to deter crime, to help send a message maybe to young people to start making the right choices? Is there any way that someone's life has been changed by witnessing this change of events? I really, truly hope so. You know what? I'd love for you to send me an email and let me know what you think about these broadcasts. Do you have a topic you'd like for me to address over the coming weeks? Go to my website, HelenBlockerAdams.com. That's HelenBlockerAdams.com. Would love for you to, check me out and let's see what we can do. I'd love to come to your city. And by the way, I'm planning to come to your city soon and meet you personally. Would love for you to visit my website so that you can stay abreast of when I'm coming to your city at HelenBlockerAdams.com. That's HelenBlockerAdams.com. You guys have been a wonderful, wonderful audience and would love for you to visit me, send me an email, let me know what's on your mind because check this out, I want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you. And certainly, we do want to pray for whatever happened with this young man. We really, really do. You guys have been awesome. Have a wonderful, blessed day. We'll see you next week on the radio.
You have a dream to make an impact on your community, but you need help to make it happen. The Barna Group is an economic and community development firm specializing in providing strategic alternatives to public-private financing. They serve cities, counties, nonprofits, private businesses, and schools. Visit thebarnagroup.com. No matter where you are, they really can help your dreams come true. For more information, visit thebarnagroup.com.
It takes a special person and company to provide care that allows people in their golden years to live with dignity. Golden Rule Healthcare Agency provides companion care and personal care, even Alzheimer's care, dementia, and Parkinson's care. Visit their website at goldenrulehca.com. Licensed to do business in 8 states, they are ready to serve your needs, committed to providing quality and professional care. Services just like the Golden Rule, recently designated as a provider for home care services for employees of Savannah River Nuclear Solutions. Contact Golden Rule Healthcare Agency today.
This is an exclusive track owner production.
You have been listening to There's Always Hope radio broadcast with commentator Helen Blocker Adams. Brought to you by the Southeast Enterprise Institute and Golden Rule Healthcare Agency. If you have comments or would like more information, please visit HelenBlockerAdams.com or visit her Facebook page, There's Always Hope Radio Broadcast. If you would like to support our efforts, you can make a contribution on our website. Thank you, and we will see you on the radio next time on There's Always Hope Radio Broadcast with Helen Blocker Adams.